For the last few days, ladies and gentlemen, we here at Republic TV have specifically asked a few questions on whether there was an attempt in India to go after the pilots. The pilot who was the captain of the AI-171 flight that went down in Ahmedabad, the plane that crashed in Ahmedabad. Is there an attempt to go after the pilot? Are Indian investigators going after the pilot? Why is nobody taking Air India and Boeing into question? Why aren't they being questioned? These are some of the questions we've been asking. The family also complained about how their relatives are being harassed. And there is a big question mark about this entire investigation. There is a key report that has been filed, and that report talks about how the plane experienced system failures from its very first day in service for Air India. And the failures included electronics and software faults, circuit breakers tripping repeatedly, damage to wiring, short circuit, loss of electrical current, overheating of power components. In January 2022, there was a fire in the P100 power distribution panel. Pilots started receiving fault messages during a descent into Frankfurt airport. Damage discovered afterwards, and it was so severe that the entire panel had to be replaced. Now, all of this, ladies and gentlemen, have been reported. And if they were reported, why is it that India has not probed that angle, or India appears to be going soft on Boeing, on Air India? We spoke to the father of Captain Sabharwal. In fact, he sent us a video, an audio message. And here is what he said, talking about the condition of his family, the plight of his family, as they are being harassed, he says, by the government and the investigators.
Sabharwal, father of late Captain Sumit Sabharwal, express my sincere gratitude to Captain Randhawa and the Federation of Indian Pilots for standing with our family with dignity and professionalism in our pursuit of truth and fairness. While we continue to grieve, we have faced repeated distress in the name of inquiry. I am constrained to state that AIB for persistently attempted to call the youngest pilots of our family for questioning, despite their having no connection whatsoever with the case. This has caused unnecessary trauma and most to harassment of a bereaved family. I appeal to the government of India to take urgent cognizance of this. An accident investigation must be independent, evidence-led, and are conducted with sensitivity, not through pressure or intimidation. It is for these reasons that we were compelled to approach the Honorable Supreme Court for protection and due process. My son, Captain Sumit Sabharwal, was a thorough professional and a man of integrity. He had a spotless flying career during his service for more than 25 years. And then any attempt to prejudge.
Mike Andrews joins me live. Mike Andrews is the attorney for the victims' families. Mike, it appears from the different reports that we are seeing, and there have been a few incidents involving Boeing in the recent past, even in America. But America holds Boeing to account. Boeing pays penalties. Boeing has to face the law. In this particular case, and I'm bringing your attention to this particular case, and because you represent the victims' families here, do you sense an attempt to go after the family of the pilots and somehow leave Boeing out of this investigation? Is that the sense you're getting from the report filed?
Yeah, and thank you. So this is a tactic that we see all too often, that immediately following an aviation disaster, the blame is placed upon the flight crew, the pilots, who are no longer around to defend themselves. And that is always been a rush to judgment. It's something that we've said from the beginning is improper in this case. And these families deserve the patience and transparency of all of the information to understand exactly what happened here.
Yeah. In the case of the AI-171 plane, there is a report that has been given to the Senate. You may be aware of this report. It has flagged multiple tech glitches on the exact same flight, which has been a larger issue with the Boeing 787 family. Is that also part of your case against, perhaps Boeing and Air India?
Yes, we are closely following those developments. We see this report and the recent testimony to the Senate committee as being a significant development in this investigation.
Yeah.
We have said from the beginning that this is a very complex electrically driven aircraft, and many of the systems are interdependent upon each other. As a result, you can have a problem in one system that can cascade and create other problems. Now, significantly, when we look at the information of the report that you're talking about, and this is from the Foundation for Aviation Safety from Mr. Ed Pearson, we see reports of problems from almost the very beginning of this aircraft's life cycle. In fact, he states from the very first day. And he cites problems with software glitches and circuit breakers continuing to throw, issues with electrical wiring and communication among some of the systems, and significantly a fire on board that required the replacement of a major power panel and some of the breakers and wiring. You know, we've said from the beginning that this plane has the capability to control the throttle and engine settings in such a way that it could make it appear as if the pilots did something when in fact they did not. And that's why it's improper, this rush to judgment and attempt to blame the pilots for something that this information is now just coming to light. It's disturbing to me that Air India would know of and have information regarding this history, and yet still try to blame the pilot in the face of all of this knowledge. And so we continue to push for transparency, for honesty and truth. We want to know exactly the history of this plane, what happened with it when it was developed and when it was sent to India, and the problems that it's had in its life cycle. We think these are indicative of design, engineering, maintenance, and quality problems. And so we all need to know exactly what happened here.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, Mike, because we also get a sense that perhaps there is much more than meets the eye, given the manner in which not just the pilot's family, his relative, who's also a pilot, unrelated to this entire issue, is being called to the investigation. I'll leave it at that. Look forward to speaking to you at some point in time as the case progresses. From one legal battle to the next, the 30,000 crore inheritance battle in the Sanjay Kapoor family has taken a dramatic turn with 80-year-old Rani Kapoor, the mother of the late Sanjay Kapoor, the industrialist, moving the Delhi High Court seeking to scrap the Rani Kapoor family trust, alleging it was fraudulently created through forgery manipulation by her late son and his third wife.